Hi viewers, welcome to Bosco Campus Vision. I am Darshana. Hope all of you heard my previous session. Let us continue the topic regarding plot. So in the previous session we already discussed about the elements of a tragedy as well as elements of plot. So here for the proper development of a plot, it not only needs the basic concepts from the previous chapters, but there are some other components necessary. They are astonishment, reversal or peripeteia, recognition or anagnorisis, and suffering. Then, what do you mean by this astonishment? Astonishment refers to a tragedy's ability to inspire fear and pity. That is, in the definition of tragedy itself, we discussed that at the end of a tragedy, that catharsis happened. That means proper purgation of mind or purification of mind happened. That means release of emotions. Emotions here means pity and fear that happened at the end of a tragedy. So here astonishment refers to a tragedy's ability to inspire fear and pity, and both these emotions are elicited from an audience when the events come by surprise, not by chance. That is the point here. These elicitation of emotions, that both these emotions that were elicited not by chance but by surprise. As we all know that a tragedy should have a proper beginning, middle and end. So all plots lead from beginning to end in a probable or necessary sequence of events. But a simple plot has no peripeteia or anagnorisis. Then what do you mean by a simple plot and a complex plot? A simple plot means only one storyline. That is a unified structure including all necessary or probable events accompanied by change of state, etc. That is no other sub-stories or other storylines attached to the main content, etc. And there is no peripeteia anagnorisis in a simple plot. But a complex plot contains more than one storyline. That means several sub stories attached to the main content or idea, and also complex plot may have one or both of these elements, that is peripeteia or anagnorisis. Then what do you mean by this peripeteia? Peripeteia is the reversal from one state of affairs to its opposite. That is, some element in the plot affects a reversal, so that the hero who thought he was in good position or good shape suddenly finds that all is lost, or vice versa. So the reversal of situation, that is the hero's position, may be from good position to bad or from fortune to misfortune. Sometimes a reversal may happen, that is from bad to good or from misfortune to fortune. So this change of state, so reversal from one state of affairs to its opposite, that is peripeteia. Then what do you mean by anagnorisis? Anagnorisis is a change from ignorance to knowledge. That means recognition happened, that is recognizing his own identities or that character, that main character or protagonist, recognizing his own true nature or recognizing the true identities of other characters in the play. So this discovery will bring love and happiness to characters who learn of good fortune. So sometimes this recognition that will bring love and happiness to characters who learn of good fortune. At the same time, this recognition will bring hatred and misery to those who discover unhappy truths. So according to Aristotle, the best kind of anagnorisis always accompanies peripeteia. That is, A reversal of fortune effects a discovery or vice versa. For example, Oedipus Rex. Oedipus' discovery of who his mother is. It effects a reversal of fortune from proud king to horrible disgrace. So Aristotle suggests that anagnorisis is possible by a number of other means as well, but it is most intimately connected to the plot when it accompanies peripeteia. That is, the best kind of anagnorisis accompanies peripeteia. And these two together, that is peripeteia and anagnorisis, these two together will help to arouse emotions, that is pity and fear, and will also help to draw the play to its conclusion. Then, the unity of plot in Greek tragedy helps us to understand the consequences of our thoughts and actions. Peripeteia and anagnorisis helps us to recognize certain factors that we are not aware in our life. That means we can equate our own life with those actions in the plot. We all know that life is not a simple progress from one stage to another. It involves reversals, recognition, etc. Furthermore, we are far from aware of many factors, both in ourselves and in the world around us, that determine our fate, and we sometimes learn some important factors through a moment of belated recognition. A tragedy that includes this peripeteia and anagnorisis allows us to see the inevitability of certain fates and also makes us understand why we are so often unable to perceive these fates. So, at the end of a tragedy, spectators or the audience can easily understand the consequences of certain thoughts, actions, decision making, etc. That means we can easily, that we spectators or we readers or audience, we can easily equate our own life with those actions or the consequences of those actions or decision making, etc. So, peripeteia and anagnorisis that helps us to recognize why these patterns are not immediately evident to anyone with a little life experience. Sometimes we are not aware about the consequences of certain decisions or certain types of thoughts, etc. So, according to Aristotle, with the help of this peripeteia and anagnorisis, this reversal, recognition, or the expression of these elements in a plot, that can easily identify or understand or recognize the inevitability of certain facts, certain fates, etc. In addition to peripeteia and anagnorisis, Aristotle defines a third part of the plot, that is suffering. Suffering means actions of destructive or painful nature such as murders, torture and woundings. In chapter 12 of Poetics, Aristotle discusses the quantitative elements of tragedy. That means the different parts of the performance. These are the prologue, episode, exod, and a choral portion consisting of parode and tacimon. So, the parode is the first full statement of the chorus. Everything that precedes it is prologue. The tacimon is a choral song in a certain meter, while action that takes place between choral songs is episode. Everything that follows the last choral song is exod. And in addition, some tragedies have songs from the stage and a chomos, a lamentation sung by both actor and chorus. According to Aristotle, in the chapter 12 of the Poetics, these are the quantitative elements of a tragedy. That means the different parts of the performance. Then Aristotle suggests that the best kinds of plot are complex plots that arouse pity and fear. He then concludes that three kinds of plot should be avoided. They are, first one is, we should avoid plots that show a good man going from happiness to misery because such events seem unpleasant. Second plot is avoid plots that show a bad man going from misery to happiness because this arouses neither pity nor fear and appeals to none of our emotions. Third one is we should avoid plots that show a bad man going from happiness to misery because it will not arouse the feelings of pity or fear. We feel pity for undeserved misfortune and we feel fear if the person we pity is something like ourselves. So Aristotle concludes that the best kind of plot involves the misfortune of someone who is neither particularly good nor particularly bad and whose downfall does not result from some unpleasantness or vice but rather from hamartia, that is tragic flow, and error in judgment. So Aristotle concludes that the best kind of plot may be, or the plot involves misfortune of someone who is neither good nor bad and whose downfall does not result from some unpleasantness or vice but from his own error or tragic flow, that is called hamartia, that is an error in judgment. Then Aristotle discusses the four elements of a good plot. A good plot consists of four elements. First one, it must focus around one single issue. Second one, the hero must go from fortune to misfortune rather than vice versa. And the third one is the misfortune must result from hamartia. The fourth one is the hero should be at least of intermediate worth. And if not, he must be better, never worse than the average person. These are the four elements Aristotle discussed regarding a good plot. And Aristotle concludes this session by saying that pity and fear, he calls the pleasures of tragedy, are better if they result from the plot itself rather than the spectacle. That is, that emotions or the pleasures of tragedy that resulted or evoked from the plot itself rather than the spectacle or from outside help. According to Aristotle, the best kind of plot is that one character plans to kill another but then discovers the family connection between them in time to refrain from the killing. So these are the main points that Aristotle discussed regarding tragedy, important elements of a tragedy, then regarding plot, important elements of a plot, and the development of the smooth development or the proper function of a plot in poetics. Hope all of you understand this session. Thank you. See you again.